So today we are back on the Sausage Hot Seat. We have Martin Ballantyne, a UK and Norfolk born and bred actor. Very happy to have you on the Sausage Hot Seat.
Well,
very special. So yeah, let's talk about what you've been in. You've been in quite a few massive films, really.
I try.
So you've been in The Golden Compass, which is pretty awesome. Born Ultimatum with Matt Damon. 2 of the Harry Potters,
yes.
Deathly Hallows, and your most recent with Heath Ledger, The Dark Knight. I mean, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that was an amazing.
I mean, looking back on obviously what you've achieved in the last 10 years, I mean, how does that feel?
I feel quite lucky, actually.
I'm not surprised, really. You've got to start against some really big people.
When I say that, and people say, no, you worked hard, and you do work damn hard to get into film. They don't just pick you off the street to be in these big films. No. You have to work your way up to that.
And how did you get sort of, was it one that brought you into another?
Yes.
Exactly, I suppose that's the way. It's all about networking.
About 9 years ago, I thought, I fancy being an actor. That'd be quite cool. I was quite a big bloke, and I was a bigger bloke then, and I was chatting to my friend. He said, "Oh, they always want big blokes for they play baddies, play thugs." So my friend is an amateur actor. He had a word with the director, and he got me involved in this play called Vanity Fair. And I ended up playing about 8 different parts. I had loads of quick changes. And all I was like a big
wig here and a wig there.
I was a doorman, and that basically carried on. I did quite a few little plays off that, gangling baddies and big.
Yeah, that's the whole thing, isn't it? When I'm big, I play a baddie.
That's exactly right. And people say, "Oh, you ought to try and get yourself filmed." So, little phone camera, took some photos, sent them off to some various agencies. They started getting me little parts in. Independent films.
Yeah.
So my very first film I did was called a film called Cashback, which was like an art house movie.
Yeah, all the art house.
Yes. So I sat there in the pub drinking and smoking, because you could smoke in pubs back then.
Oh no, them days.
And there was all these sort of semi-clad strippers walking around me. I thought, well, this is good, I'm getting paid. I've been given cigarettes, I've been given drink, and I'm in a pub with all these strippers. I thought, this is good.
This is living the life, this is the high life. I like being an actor, this is great.
So I did that, and then that led to quite a few more little independent films, which was great. And I mean, this is quite good. And the great thing about doing independent films, you actually meet actors on the way up. So I actually worked with James Corden before he was famous in a film called Heroes and Villains.
Yeah,
lovely guy. And now he's obviously gone on. But what happened was my agent was contacted by another agency because they were looking for a big guy to play what's called a Trollison in Golden Compass.
Right.
So what they did is they basically bought me as a commodity across to their agency.
Yeah.
So I worked, as you said, worked in Golden Compass. Yeah. Because I was then on their books and they knew of me.
You just went on and on.
It went on from there, and then eventually I got a call about doing the new, at the time it was a new Batman film. And they actually didn't call it Batman, because they have to sort of hide the title. They called it Rory's First Kiss, which is a code name.
Rory's First Kiss?
Yeah, which was an in-joke about, I think, one of the second ADs or something. But that's what they do. Yeah, that's what they do. They actually make up fake titles so people don't get wind of this.
And is it like putting out for a pilot to see what people, is that what you mean?
Well, no, they just do that and they put you in. And then I had an audition, actually with Nolan.
Oh, right, yeah,
They actually auditioned me as playing what's called the Joker's henchman.
Which I got the pictures
and I got to work with Nolan, and that was just an amazing situation.
Yeah,
because that's Warner Brothers, you see.
Oh, that'd be great.
After I'd done that, the Harry Potter people wanted me, because that's Warner Brothers.
Well, that's how it comes on. Yeah. The more you're seen, the more you know.
Exactly,
It spot you, and it just gets bigger and it keeps rolling, and that is how it is. It's about networking.
And in that time, I actually ended up playing a part in a TV series called Kingdom.
Yeah, as Jason.
As Jason. Yeah. And I've got to thank Stephen Fry, another local man. Hopefully you'll have him on your
Awesome man too. I do love Stephen Fry.
Because
you watching?
Yeah, he's such a lovely guy. And because he's, as I say, such a lovely guy, he insisted when we did the first series that everyone had an equity contract. Despite the fact I didn't have an equity card, we all got paid equity rates. And because I had an equity contract, it meant I could then get an equity card. So I applied to equity, and then I got my card off the back of Kingdom.
Excellent. Because you played in 3, was it 3 series?
3 series and 4 episodes, of which I played Jason twice. I played Jason in the second series and the third series. And in the first series, I just played, I I can't remember what I was, just a random sort of part.
Yeah.
But
Because that's pretty big, the kingdom. I
that's
can actually
massive,
remember.
I've actually got a photo. I'll show you afterwards of me actually in the film, and I loved the part so much. I named my firstborn son after my character, Jason. So.
Yeah, so let's talk about you directing. I know that you've done a little bit of that. You do a little bit of writing. I mean, that's pretty good.
I directed a film when I was a student a long time ago, going back 97, I think. It's a black and white film. I didn't really know what I was doing. It was a part of course, good fun, and I sort of drew a line under directing. I didn't mind it, but it wasn't the thing.
Yeah, but you got to give it a little.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I went on and did. The great thing about doing these big films is people want to work with you on these little films.
Yeah, they start seeing you.
Yeah, exactly. And I was actually doing a signing for Harry Potter, and this guy came up to me and they said, "Oh, do you want to work on something together?" And we ended up doing this thing called Log Time, which was an idea I had for a pilot. I'd approached the BBC and they'd asked me to actually try and make something and send it off to him, so that was fine. But it got to a point where he wasn't happy directing, so I stepped in as a director for that.
It's pretty good.
Which was quite intense, but it was great fun.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, and he went back and did the editing and did everything else, and it was when that was being edited that this other guy, Chris Smith, actually saw it being edited.
Great guy, very talented as well, must mention.
And he saw it being edited, and he wanted to work with me, so he contacted me. And because it was already with the BBC, I didn't want to sort of play around and remake that. So we discussed another project, and that ended up being a film called Z-Lister. And yes, I mean, I'm so proud of Z-Lister, and Chris as well directed it, and we wrote it together, and we produced it. And
I must say, it is.
You've seen it, haven't you?
Really, really good. I did watch it the other day, obviously, and yeah, I think it's absolutely brilliant. I mean, is that a reflection of a time that you went through, Z-Lister? Because it's about an actor that's going through a really tough time, and all it really is about doing signings and things like that. I mean. Was that a reflection?
Well, because obviously I've done the Batman films and Harry Potter films, and people want you to do signings because obviously they're big films. So I've done quite a few signings, and yes, everything you see in Z-Lister basically happened to me. And some of the things are some of the people you meet at these events, and Chris came along and he added like a love story element, so it wasn't just silly things happening.
And that was done so well.
Yeah, well, it's Chris again.
Yeah,
he's a very talented guy.
Really
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we've done that, and I'm so proud of it. Like I said, if I never did another film again after watching Z-Lister, it's great. And I've got lots of my friends in it. My daughter's in it.
And she played it so well. I mean, looking at her, I just couldn't believe her.
I know.
Was just
she was 14 when she did
I know, absolutely excellent. She is a little star in the making.
Yeah, well, yes. I think maybe I'm biased.
She'll be very proud.
No, she is, and she's doing drama at school and photography, and I think she wants to do a bit of modelling. We'll have to chat about that later, maybe.
Yeah.
So yes, and that's the great thing about doing these things, the big things, because it allows you to do the little things which are more personal to yourself. Because writing is my passion. I love writing.
So would you say that's sort of your forte? That is what you want to do?
Is me, yeah.
Are you going to maybe take a step back from the acting and carry on writing?
It sounds such a cliche, but when I write, I never put myself in the main role. I've ended up in the main role twice, purely not by accident, but in Log Time we couldn't get an actor to play the character that I ended up playing, and I was running all the lines with the other actors, because that's what you do when you rehearse. And they basically said, look, why don't you just play it? Because you know it, yeah. And that's what we did. Yeah. Same with Z-Lister. When I wrote Z-Lister, I said to Chris, look, I don't really... He said, no, you've got to be in it. It's about you.
You got to be in it.
And he twisted my arm. And
oh, go on then.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing.
Why not?
You see these films sometimes, it's written by, starring by, and it's all the same person. Yeah. And I've always said, I maintain that. I don't want to...
you need to sort of fresh. It needs to be fresh. You need to mix it up.
Well, you do need to a bit, because if not, it looks a little bit too... What's the word? I can't think of the word really.
Just say me.
I'll
do.
Yes. But there we go, and I am working with a writer at the moment called Mark Welsh, and
this is for?
This is for my next project called Ticketer, and I believe you've got a little part in it. So yeah, and Chris, who we spoke about, he's going to be in it with yourself and the little
Which
cinema.
I think that's going to be absolutely grand with all of us working together.
Yeah, that will be cool.
It really is going to be fun.
And,
I'm actually really, really excited about it.
Well, but yes, I hopefully.
Exciting times ahead.
Yes,
so have you got anything more planned that you're going to start writing, or
well,
is that just the thing?
We're working on that, and as you can probably imagine, writing anything takes so much, and we read it through, and then I've got to get the crew together, which I'm starting to get together now. So yeah, I mean that's my next project, and I think I've got some parts in some. I think I've been asked to be in a film playing a hotel manager for a.
Ooh, lovely.
Yeah, well, my personal appearance manager is a writer as well, and his film is actually being made at the moment. So he's asked me to have a small part in that. So I said yes because he's my manager.
Yeah.
So I can
why
say.
not?
So and I get scripts sent to me quite often, and I have a look, and if I fancy doing it, I do it, which is great. It's lovely to have that kind of control.
So I really want to talk about what is your sort of most memorable part in your film. I mean, you've been in quite a few. What really stands out for you?
Well, purely because it was such a massive film, and I got to work with some amazing people. Would be the Batman.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I can imagine.
I mean, I had Christopher Nolan come up to me and hold my shoulders right like that.
Were you a bit like?
It was like work, and he was so intense.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah,
doing that, you're just a bit like.
And he's like, whoa, and he sort of manoeuvred us about. He said, look, I want you here, Martin, I want you. And then, you know, it was
Did you get a
amazing.
bit starstruck?
Maybe more with Heath Ledger.
Yeah. Oh yeah, well,
because,
yeah.
I mean, I have the old ciggy now and again, and he smoked, and he would remain in character all the time he's in set.
Really?
Yeah, so even between takes, he'd sit there like, brooding and get really...
Because I suppose that's trying to
you
keep
have
that
to-
character, don't you?
exactly.
You've got, you know, you can't. If you take that head off, then you kind of lose it, don't you? So
Well, he
you've got
did
to keep it
when he
on.
went and had a cigarette. So he would go out for a cigarette, and I went
So
with...
he's sitting there like.
I went, and at this time, you couldn't smoke indoors, so we had to go outside. But you couldn't go too far because there were so many paparazzi.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we'd actually had a cigarette together and chat, which was so
awesome.
good. But as soon as he'd
Heath
finished his
Ledger.
cigarette, I know.
Wicked.
And as soon as he'd finished his cigarette, we'd go back, and then he'd straight back into character. And that was
It's amazing how we do that.
I know, such a lovely guy and such a tragic loss.
Yeah, it is a big tragic loss.
But there we go. But yeah, I think just working on that film, it was some of the best time of my life. So
I think
working
that would
with
probably
Nolan
be mine too. I work with Heath Ledger.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just, and all the actors. I mean, you read them in the papers. You think they're like different people, but they're just
No,
so
they are.
nice.
Yeah.
You know,
Same
they
as
chat.
anybody. I do
Exactly.
get that kind of, obviously I respect, and I look at them and go, well, that's awesome, what they've done. But to me, I've never been kind of,
Yeah,
because
well, that's the thing.
I
You
see
can't
them
be
as
like that
someone
on
else.
set.
Oh no,
If you're on
because I see
set,
them as human
you
beings.
get
It's
kicked
just
off
someone
set.
else. But obviously, you do think, wow,
I had a chat with Gary Oldman. I mean, nice. He's such a lovely guy.
amazing.
And I chatted to him about his film that he directed, Nil by Maeve. Which amazing film, and and you get a lovely conversation about him. You talk something personal instead of talking about, Sid and Nancy or something else that he's quite well known for. But
Have you ever had it where you've sort of gone up to someone, maybe sort of a very well-known actor, and they've been quite off with you? They've not been the nicest. So they've all been really pleasant.
the only one I was told not to talk to, and it wasn't just me; it was everybody.
Yeah.
And I've never met the guy. He wasn't even there when I filmed the Harry Potter. Was Alan Rickman.
Really?
But, yeah. Apparently, I mean.
What? Because he was
He
waspy, or
apparently he just wasn't really.
he just didn't like to be talked to?
Basically, and we were all told, look, chat with everyone, chatting with Daniel Radcliffe, and
Yeah,
Rupert
yeah.
Green, everyone's lovely.
Yeah, and
It's
everyone's so nice.
But he said, if you bump into Alan Rickman, probably best not to. So we were all told that, and fair enough.
Yeah,
some
that's
people.
what he wants to be like. Fair enough. Ooh,
But
deeper.
yeah, I've never. I love him in Die Hard. So
Yeah.
to me,
Oh yeah.
he'll always
Fair
be
enough.
Gruber, won't he? In Die
Yeah.
Hard. So anyway.
Okay, so is that enough?
Go on.
So what advice would you give to people that want to become an actor? Maybe about talking about the writing as well, because you've obviously had quite a lot of hands in different things.
Yeah.
It is hard.
Don't limit yourself, because you've just pointed out.
Yes. So try. What do you mean? Sort of try your hand at everything.
Well, I mean, we mentioned my daughter earlier. I mean, as you know, she's obviously an actress, and she's doing photography, and she's thinking about doing modelling. So there we go. There's like three things which are all in the same ballpark.
Yeah.
And as in acting, so
Oh,
you've
definitely.
got your acting, you've got your writing, you've got your directing or producing. So all these things are sort of in the same.
And it branches out for opportunity as well,
Yeah, of
because
course.
obviously the more people you meet, the more opportunities you're going to get to do what you want to
Exactly.
do.
I mean, we've met for a signing I was doing.
Networking.
And there we go. And now
Yeah.
you're in my next film. How cool is that? And I'm sat in your sausage
Hotseat.
Yes.
Don't forget
So
the
there we go.
sausage hotseat.
No.
Can't forget that.
So there we go. It is networking. And that's the thing. I think you've got to be nice. I mean, you can't get away with being horrible in this business. Everyone is so friendly. And the people I've met are just lovely. You know, they're.
Yeah.
I mean, I think people have got sort of a artistic talent.
It's got to be. It is. It's like a lot of us are very creative, and I see that with everyone. They're like,
Yeah.
you know, they are
I
very.
think there's a misnomer. I mean, I said earlier in the interview that I used to be a lot bigger, and I think people, and me included,
Yeah.
to be an actor, you have to look like Brad Pitt or George Clooney.
No.
They're rubbish.
No.
There's an abundance of people like that. They want people a little bit different, a little bit more earthy, and I got all my work because of the size and my long hair.
Yeah.
And most of the roles I did, it depends if you get paranoid about being typecast. It didn't bother me.
Yeah.
To me, it was great.
And I think if you can, if I can say this, it's kind of a bit of a piss take of yourself. And it should be like that. Everything should be really light-hearted, because if you take yourself too seriously in this industry
Exactly.
and you become arrogant, you really aren't going to get anywhere. And it's all about personality. It's all about attitude.
Yeah, I mean, I had this girl come up to me. I was doing a music video for a local band, and this girl came up to me and said, "Oh, yeah, that chick from Harry Potter." I said, "Yeah, that's right." She said, "Any advice you can give me?" And I was looking at her, and she was beautiful, absolutely stunning. And I said, "Well, it's really cruel what I'm going to say to you, but you're a very beautiful girl, and unfortunately, as you can see, there's hundreds of very beautiful girls
Oh,
all
yeah.
want to be actresses.
And then one will do it for not being paid, and
you're up
it's
against
hard.
that."
Yeah.
And I said, you have to find your niche, something a bit different to get yourself noticed. Because
It
at the
is
moment
now.
you're in a sea of lovely, beautiful people.
Stand out
You
from the
have to
crowd.
stand out.
Be unique.
Don't know what that would be.
Yeah.
I mean, in my, I'm a big bloke with long hair. That was my thing.
Yeah.
There isn't a load of actors my size.
Yeah.
People want to be actors,
Actors.
you see. So that's why I got so much work, basically being the same character in lots of different things.
Really, you use that though and go, well,
Yes.
stuff it, okay, I'm
Exactly.
big, who cares, I'm going to use that.
I used to be
To my
paranoid about it.
advantage.
When I was younger, I felt a bit self-conscious, and as you say, you use it as people get into acting for different reasons. A lot of people don't like sort of showing themselves, so they put on a face as an actor does.
Persona,
Persona, what have you. Yeah, and a lot of people do that. I mean, you see some people, they won't be interviewed. I mean, some actors would like to be interviewed in character, where an actor likes to be interviewed.
I find it quite quirky, and I find it quite strange, but I
Sacha
do
Baron
know.
Cohen.
Yeah, it's
He's
crazy.
never been interviewed
No,
as himself.
I know, and
He'll
I
be
just think,
interviewed as
I'd love
Ali
to
G
get-
or the dictator,
Yeah.
you see, but he won't be
No.
interviewed as himself. I don't think any interview exists of him as
I
himself.
know, but I'm just kind of like, it's crazy. But then, I suppose sometimes people don't want to be seen as their real them.
Exactly.
It's always about
I've seen
that
one
other
interview with
character.
Rowan Atkinson as himself. I've never seen anything
No.
like it, because I've seen him in character,
Yeah.
Mr. Bean, and what have you.
Mr. Bean.
Yeah, but there we go.
Comedy show.
So, yes.
Brilliant. We are now going to wrap up on the sausage hot seat. It has been very fun. Thank you so much for coming in. It has
Thank
actually been
you,
a
Jo.
pleasure, and I really do look forward to working with you in the future.
Definitely. Excellent.
Thank you so much. Next time on the sausage hot seat, we have Chris Smith, an independent filmmaker who I actually been working with, a very, very talented guy. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. Martin actually knows Chris too, so it is very, very exciting. Make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Visual Devotion, Just Aid, watch out.
Okay, it's Hotseat Rewards. This is basically a competition. There's a few prizes here. We've got the Dark Knight DVD, Harry Potter book, and some posters. They'll all be signed. To win these, you just have to answer a simple contest. Okay, The Dark Knight was written by Chris Nolan. He had a writing partner. What was their name? Simple as that.